I'm watching Meghan Markle, Meghan of Sussex, Netflix show called With Love, Meghan or Meghan with Love. And I am watching with my mom, and my mom was like, "Oh, you do this. Oh, this looks like the flowers you arranged. Oh, I remember for your birthday, you made drinks, you did something similar to this." And it's kind of like, it's so interesting because I see people, there's a criticism of her, and they're saying it's fake, and someone even responded to this, she's pretentious, or she's pretending to be something she's not. And I'm just like, I don't get it. What are you talking about? What are you seeing? And then, so there are a lot of black women that say, I think they're just not used to seeing black women of luxury, but I don't see her as a black woman. I see her as a biracial woman. She looks racially ambiguous. Like, she looks like she could be Hispanic. She looked like she could be Arab. She looked like she could be black mixed with something else. She looks like she could be Caucasian. She looks like she could be Italian. She looks like she can be even like half Asian. She's racially ambiguous. So I don't see her and I see a black woman. So black women attach themselves like, oh, they don't like seeing black women in luxury. It's like, I don't think they see a black woman when they see her necessarily. I just think they just don't like her. And whatever preconceived notions they have about her or about whatever it is, that carries over. Yeah, so I just, it's so interesting. But the parallels I do see with her and Jasmine Crockett, who recently was, someone criticized Jasmine Crockett. I responded to the page saying that she's pretending to be gangsta. This person said that. I'll put the tweet here. And then she's not, because she went to private school, and this is a narrative obviously that's going through the conservative thing. Like, they looking for something on her, they can't find something for her, so they settled on, she pretends to be gangster, but she really went to private high schools and private something, they're expensive, and so she's not who she thinks she is. And they're always trying to define blackness and trying to negate someone's blackness for some reason. So with Kamala Harris, it was because she had Indian heritage, and they were like, she's really Indian, she's not black, she never claimed. They're always obsessed with black women and black people and people of color and blackness and trying to define us, when all it does when they do that is reveal to the extent to which they know absolutely nothing about the multiculturalness of us, the multidimensionness of us, the fact that you can actually come from one background and end up, me for example, I am from a humble beginning. My nails all messed up right now. Look at this. This is, I have crochet braids in my hair. I have locks underneath this. I'm putting crochet braids. This is, I think right now, the way I'm sitting in my chair, this is an example of the multifunctional, multidimensional meaning of being black. I'm an immigrant, naturalized American, and I came to this country. I lived in an apartment in Washington, D.C., and like, you would consider the hood. I was smart, so I did well in school, and I eventually got into University of Maryland before it was what it is now. And I didn't want to get a job, so I went to law school, and then I got an opportunity to do a master's degree at Georgetown Law, and from there, I went to a big law firm, international law firm, the one that Doug Unhoff is in now as a partner. I was there as an associate, and then I, did lots of different things. I've been all sorts of stuff like that, and because of the different things I've done, going to law school, I got exposed to a variety, a mix of people of privilege, people, trust fund babies, a lot of affluent black people. So I got to be around so many different types of people, and that's the beauty of multiculturalism, because you learn about different types of people. So if someone were to bump into me now, they may have some preconceived notions based on the fact that I'm an attorney, I have a couple of law degrees, I've presented at National Press Club, I've written a Supreme Court brief, I've written some federal court briefs, I've was a publicist for a Grammy nominee. I went to the Grammy. I've done all these great things, and you may think of something, but it's like, no, I'm from a poor, impoverished background, and just happen to, so you can't judge blackness from anything. And even coming from poorness, my dad has 2 master's degrees. I'm not even first generation college kid. My dad has 2 master's degrees and a bachelor's degree, but because of his inferiority complex, feeling, not like, not feeling the challenge and fearful and shrinking himself just because of whatever it is. He always drove a cab. My mom was a maid. They instilled pride in us and said do work and things like that. But so see, you can have somebody who's grew from a poor background but still have a dad who has 3 degrees. You know what I mean? So that's blackness. It's not one thing. When that person said about she's not being gangster, is because you think because she speaks an African American vernacular English, because she speaks like, you know, slang, she's not code switching, she's being who she is, that she's pretending to be, to them that equals blackness. But it's kind of like there's a lot of affluent black people who speak just like that at home amongst their friends. When you see them at the corporate function, when you see them on TV, when you see them in like professional polished environments, they're speaking proper. You think that's how they speak all the time. No, they don't. When they with their friends, when they're kicking it, when they're doing it, they slip into the AAVE. But that's because, but when you hear them in AAVE, you wouldn't think they'll be faking to be gangster. You just don't know that that's part of blackness. And I think that's what all is part of it. And that's the parallel with the criticism of, this is full circle moment, of Meghan Markle's show. And it's kind of like, it's just a, black people want to adopt her as their own, but she has a really black mother, and a lot of the criticism that came from her, a lot of the tension between her and the royal family, why she left, King Charles wondering whether or not Archie was going to be dark or whatever like that, all the sorts of things like that made us be like, you're one of us, and even if you don't present yourself, and even if you necessarily said I'm a black woman or proclaimed yourself blackness, we're going to accept you as our own, because we see what you're going through is because of your blackness, and because we can relate to being criticized because of black, we're going to accept you, Meghan Markle, Meghan of Sussex, as our own. But you are us, and we see you in us, and we see you in what you're doing. And right now the show is on, and all the stuff she's doing is kind of, if you were to watch my Pinterest board, if you were to watch my Instagram, I do all these things. I make drinks. Like I said, my mom was like, you do all these things. But I grew up poor or low income, and never having these things, and not knowing these things, and learning them over time, and changing and developing and evolving and being the person that I am. And that's everybody. It's not, you know what I mean? That's a lot of people like that. No one stays necessarily in one station of life or one place. Most people evolve and change and move around. And so we do too, but for some reason they see us in a one-dimensional world. That's how Donald Trump, I have a popular social media, it's not popular, but I have a really good video about Donald Trump's anti-blackness, and part of the series of different ways he's been anti-black is that his narrow way of thinking that all black people are like not smart and are on welfare and aren't necessarily intelligent and are lazy. That's how he sees us, in that one-dimensional racist stereotypical ways, and that's how his followers see. That's how MAGA sees. So that's why MAGAs will hop on Kamala Harris's race and go, you're not really black. Because you have, you know what I mean? So it means that this shows you do not understand the complexity of blackness. It means that you can be like different things and still be black, or maybe less black, and maybe accept your blackness, or maybe not. But it's okay, because we're complex people. And it's just like, you want to pigeonhole us and characterize us as one-dimensional sort of thing. It's like single mom, broken home, broken person, no partner, and that's some people, and that's okay, but that's how you see us in a narrow myopic sort of view, and that's how we all must be. And if we don't fit that mold, you're quick to say you're not necessarily black. Jasmine Crockett went to private school, so she's not black. Meghan Markle is liking nice things or whatever like that, so she's not necessarily black, or she's being something that she's not. It's like you're obsessed with us. You people are obsessed. We're like the celebrities of the race, of the celebrities of the world, because y'all are always talking about us, trying to police our hair, legislate our hair, legislate our bowels, or just constantly. And you look at the studies, scientific studies. At one point, every single week, I was looking at the news articles. There was a study about black women, about black this, about black that. And it was like, there's a pathology of blackness. A lot of what's going on politically, from the attack on federal workers, to the attack on DEI, to all the white supremacist ways Donald Trump is like trying to appease white people, is because of the just pervasive elements of anti-blackness. There's just the country's built on oppressing people of color, mainly black people, enslaved people, but of course, the Japanese from the internment camp, the Chinese built the railroads, natives who they came in and slaughtered and take over. So the whole nation is built on oppressing and subjugating people of color and just marginalizing them as much as they can. So for a circle moment. Anyway, I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. That was just a rant. It was just like, I'm watching this show. I think I'm on episode 4 or 5. And it's kind of like, what the hell y'all talking about? It's not relatable. Exhausting. Anyway, that's it. That's all I have to say.